What's going on, guys? Roger here, QVO Tactical, SHOT Show 2025. I'm here with our buddy Josh.
Always a pleasure to see you, man.
Yeah, you too, man. We're here at the Holosun booth with Josh, and as you guys see on the table, there is a lot of stuff to go over. So, Josh, just take it away, man.
Yeah, I feel like every year we have a ridiculous amount of new stuff always coming down the pipeline. I know a lot of people are super excited about the laser series that we have coming up, but let's just dive into the rifle stuff, get that knocked out pretty quickly here. We showed this off 2 years ago, but it was about the same time as when the DRS came out, which means that nobody saw this because everybody wanted to pick up a DRS. But this is our MP3X, so it's going to be a 3X prism sight, etched reticle, QD mount. It's on a T1 footprint, so you can swap it onto those any aftermarket mounts you have. On top here, we're going to have illumination built into this with a red and green LED, so you can choose which color spectrums you want for the wind holds.
Okay.
Just a really simple, compact prism etched reticle, so if you guys have astigmatism, it's going to be perfect for that. So this is kind of our newer lineup for the magnified side of things. Moving towards the 403, 503 replacement. You guys know the 403 from us. Everybody loves that series. We're now updating it. So we listened to a lot of the feedback people had and said, hey, you know what, the mount could be improved. So like, okay, so we skeletonized the mount, put a cross bolt on there so you can actually get in there and torque it really nice and easily. Additionally, we did the Subdued logos on the branding on the side. Everyone kind of requested that. We've seen a lot of KC Birchwood Illuma Black out there, so we're just making it simple for you guys. You can save a few bucks, and now everything is nice and subdued. The other cool thing about these is these are going to be available in red, green, and gold LEDs. So we're bringing the gold LEDs to most of the rifle stuff this year for anybody who's got that color blindness. I know Hunter Constantine, he's like freaking red and green color blindness. I don't even know what he sees when he holds the dot up, but the gold works really well for him. So the cool thing about these as well is the price point. These are coming in at $159. So
oh, wow.
Super affordable. You'll probably see them on the streets for cheaper. That's just kind of where our MAP pricing is going to be at for those. You take the ARO, the Advanced Rifle Optic, and you make the big brother to it. This is the ARO Evo. So I think we were talking a little bit about that off camera. The 26mm tube sight thing should have caught on more. I think I love just having a little bit of a bigger tube on there. This matches really well with our magnifiers. Some of the differences between this one is that you're going to have the solar panel option as well as just a standard 2M dot. This one also comes with a BDC reticle.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to have that traditional 2M dot with like three holds on it. This one can get a little busy because we have a lot of different options inside there. There's also a ranging feature, so it has like subtensions for like shoulder widths at known distances, 65 MOA ring, and the wind holds with the drops. Just click and hold the minus button, you can rotate through all those.
Oh, nice.
Turn them on and off so it's not super crazy inside the reticle. On the front here we have flip caps, and there's also an anti-reflection device. These will be sold separately. I think it's going to be maybe like a $20 or $30 add-on for it. But you know, a lot of people have been getting into the kill flash stuff, 100 Concepts, making really cool things. We're like, hey, we can get in and do some cool stuff with that as well too. So we're kind of adding those in as value features for people this year. It comes with the same mount as you see here as well too. Moving on to the Ames series. So everybody knows and loves the Ames. It's been out for quite some time. We're not doing any price increases on this. We're just updating them so that way you guys get more value out of the box. A lot of people say, hey, once again, we don't like the mount. We wish it was a cross bolt. The T10 thread can get in there and just get stripped really easily. Like, okay, we hear you guys. So we updated the mount. Now we have a 4-post skeletonized design with a nice cross bolt clamp on there that you can easily get access to. The cool thing about these is that these are also going to come in red, green, and gold LEDs, so rolling out more of that. The only other thing about these that's really been improved is the parallax. So we've had a 50% like reduction in the parallax. They basically it is crazy how crystal clear these are now. The Pro version of this is going to come with that anti-reflection device in the front. You can simply take the cover down, put in a plastic one or the glass if you want to. The other added benefit of the Pro series is we took the SCS technology with the forward-facing light sensor. We've now integrated it into the Ames as well too. So the auto adjust is super nice. Now a lot of people I know will say, hey, I don't really run auto. I run manual on most of my stuff too, but I will say I have been running auto on this lately and I really, really like it. It's incredibly fast, even with like white light activation. It works great. So maybe give it a try on some of the new options and see what people think. Moving towards the more fun side of the conversation, everybody loves lasers, and we have a plethora of lasers coming out this year. We'll start first with a 4-in-1. This is called the PID Pro. The PID Pro is going to offer you white light, IR illumination, IR laser, and Viz laser. The IR and Viz laser are centered, so that they're just below the bore. You have white light on the left side, IR illumination on the right side. The IR illumination is going to be 350 milliwatt LED. I think we were getting into a little bit of the weeds last time we talked about VCSEL and all that stuff.
Yep.
This is just going to be a standard LED, so you get a really nice wide flood. I've used this out to like 50 to 100 yards very effectively. It works great, but this is definitely going to be more of that close-in kind of situation for this product in particular. We have 4 buttons on the side. You can program these differently, so sometimes you just want to have a white light only. You can lock out the IR or lock out the white light so you only have IR. There's 4 activation sides, so you can pick and choose how you want to set that up. This is probably still going to go through some revisions before we get it out to market. We're looking at a price point of around $399, somewhere in that $400-ish area. I kind of want to add a crane plug to the back of it, so if you don't run on a pistol, maybe have it on a flux or something like that, you have the ability to run a tape switch with it. But yeah, just kind of offering some pretty cool, interesting ideas. Holster compatibility, once we get these kind of finalized further down the road, I'll get you one over there so you can play around with it and see if we can find something that fits in there or just make something new for it. Moving down the road, the Iris 3, which you guys probably, if you're watching this video, you probably saw Roger did an awesome video on this showcasing how
Thanks, man.
cool. I really appreciate it, honestly. The cool technology with the VCSEL illuminator being able to kind of zoom in and really easily adjust the beam pattern. So taking the Iris 3 with all the technology we have, we now have the Iris 4. So the Iris 4 is going to be a $100 price increase, but now you have a white light built into it for an all-in-one unit. So these are coming in at right around $1,000 for the price on these.
Yeah, before I remember I was telling you, like one of my favorite units was the LE321G.
Yep.
Because it was everything you needed in one unit. I didn't have to run a side light, and now you guys, boom, there it is.
Yeah, and it's one of those things we just always love to take the feedback from people and say, hey, like, are you guys going to make a 4-in-1? Like, we didn't have originally planned to, but we're like, you know what, we can actually cram a pretty decent sized light in here. This is going to be 1,000 lumens with 20,000 candela. It's all running off of an 18650 battery. No more of the charging cables with the magnetic stuff. You just pull out the battery. It's got a USB-C port on there. You just charge it up. It's super easy. The other cool thing about this is that there are 2 crane plugs in the back. So if you want to run a switch for just the IR and you want to come over the top and activate it manually, you have the ability to control it and configure it how you want. But everything is really nicely set up for like kind of a C-clamp configuration. You can get to everything with your thumb, and it's super easy to know what's what. So I think you've played around with the slider. Yeah. The detents are awesome. It's not going to move on you. It's a really cool and quick system to use as well.
Yeah. So I run Iris 3 and a RAID on one setup, and then I would run just that on an individual.
Right. I mean, I think about this like MP5 situations.
I was literally like, I'm like, oh, my Noveski Space Invader needs something.
Exactly. There's just so little rail space on there, rail estate, if you will. And so having the ability to have it all just kind of stacked into one is super nice. And this has the same VCSEL illuminator. It's just basically the same laser package put into this. So, and I think for only $100 more, it's a crazy value.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Going down the list, we have the Iris 2 and the Iris 1. Basically 2 lasers, 1 laser, IR Viz. Just basically pick which one you want for IR Viz or green or red.
Gotcha.
That's kind of most of the rifle stuff in a
nutshell
nutshell for this year. Yeah, Joel, that's it. Yeah, I know, right? Now we move on to the PIDK, which everybody was kind of super excited about last year. The PIDK has got a totally new updated housing and design. This is still very much in development. We're kind of working out some of the last kinks with it. But one of the cool things about this is the fact that it's going to fit a TLR7 holster, so you guys don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just go to QVO and buy a holster and you'll be good to go. But the locking lug on this actually has a little rail underneath there where you can move the light back and forth. So you can actually position it closer to the trigger guard if you want more buttons in the trigger, if you want to have, if you want to have it flush fit, however you want to do it. So it just gives you the ability to customize it, because there's a lot of those small compact guns. You've only got one recoil slot, and it's just like, okay, well, I got to make this work. This gives you the ability to kind of put it where you want.
Nice.
So I know people are going to ask about specs. We're coming in at right around that 800 to 1,000 lumens, and candela we're looking for around 20 to 25,000 is usually kind of the goal we're at with it right now.
Okay.
Internally, it's got a 16340 USB-C rechargeable battery. Just pop the cap open, plug it into USB-C, you're off to the races. Price point on this, hopefully around 150 to 180, somewhere in there. We'll see what we end up with as we finalize it, but I think the PIDK is just going to be a really great
slick.
Yeah. Last on the list is the digital pistol thermal. This is actually now a full-fledged prototype than just a concept prototype.
Gotcha.
So we're moving the train down the tracks a little bit on this one. It still has a ways to go as far as kind of the revisions we want to make, but I think, did you get a chance to shoot it at the industry day?
No.
Okay, so on Monday we had these out there. It's super sensitive. It's really awesome. Like shooting paper, you can literally see the bullet holes, like the heat on the paper through the bullet holes. So, a lot of people are kind of saying like, hey, this is kind of a weird product. Like, where does this fit in the marketplace? What would you use this for? And I was like, man, this is a great option for like a Flux Raider. I have one on a Flux Raider personally. I think that's probably how I'm going to run it predominantly. But also, you got that 10 mil backpacking gun where you're like, hey, is that a bear over there? Now you can very easily see in the dark. Yeah, without having to have a white light and startle it or something like that. So it's kind of a cool product. It's still, like I said, getting down the train tracks as far as development goes. Price point on this, we're looking around $1,000.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll have this out maybe like Q2, Q3 this year. We'll see how it goes.
Oh wow, that's soon. Okay.
Yeah, they're relatively soon. I think we don't have too much left to do on it, but it's definitely getting there. So you'll use this like a red dot 95% of the time. I think people are going to buy this just because it's like a giant 507C enclosed at this point. So we'll see how that goes, but definitely gets my gears turning for some new ideas.
Yeah, man.
For pistol optics. So
very futuristic.
Yeah, definitely. So that's kind of just our lineup for this year in a nutshell that we're all working on. A lot of this stuff is going to be hopefully out within maybe the middle of the year. Some stuff's going to get pushed to a little bit later, but hopefully we'll have it out sooner than that. But you know how timelines goes. Let's play the plans of mice and men, right?
It is crazy to me how much, like we film with a lot of companies, but the amount of stuff that you guys put out every year, it's like after last year, I'm like, yeah, let's go to Holosun. They'll probably have like a couple things.
Yeah, this is like my favorite time of the year, man. Like boxes just show up at the shop, and it's always just like, okay, let's see what the engineers are working on. Like, they're just complete magicians, man. They work on.
I'm pumped about this. I'm pumped about this, and yeah, definitely this.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the PID. I know you don't have like a hard set timeline, but what are we thinking for this?
As far as when it's going to be out,
yeah.
I'm hoping that we can have this completed and out by like Q2. We'll see how the timelines go with it. It's still a lot more adjustment to do for some of the
controls
things.
Feel good.
Yeah, the controls feel great. I want to add some more texture to the buttons so that way you can kind of feel it a little easier as you come out of the holster. But I think honestly, if we don't get too much feedback and there's not a lot of revisions we need to make, we can get it out relatively quickly. But we still have to do some more holster fitment testing and that kind of stuff just to make sure we hit all those boxes.
Awesome, man. Well, Josh,
right?
I appreciate it, dude. I always look forward to seeing you. I need to see you more throughout the year, bud.
Seriously, yeah.
Come out and shoot some content with us, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Guys, you guys see it here. Holosun, again, coming in clutch for the second time in a row. Yeah. Actually, probably the third or fourth time in a row. But lots of new stuff. I'm curious what you guys are thinking. Are you on the NVG side of things and you want to see stuff for nighttime fun? Are you looking forward to the new Prism, the new revision? Not the new updated ARO, which is replacing the 403, or are you somebody that's like, hey, with all the different lights out there, now you're finding one that, okay, I don't have to change holsters, and I'm getting some crazy output. So curious to know what you guys think. Let us know down below.
For sure.
I know Josh takes a look at all that stuff. So
I read every comment. So if you guys are like, hey,
Holosun, you got questions, ask him.
Please, please make this. Trust me, we're reading it. We're listening to you guys. All these products get here to where they are now by listening to the feedback from everybody that we work with.
Seems to be a good strategy.
Yeah, just make the products your customers want. Who would have thought, right?
Cool, man.
So, appreciate it.
I appreciate the time, dude.
Definitely.
Thank you.